Well, hello, Robert Heffernan with EndoTech, AI for FinTech. This is BlockChain Vitals, our weekly segment talking cryptocurrencies in the cryptosphere. I'm a master endotechnician. I'm in the matrix, man. I'm fully matrixed up trading cryptos. Let's do the rounds right away because a couple of things I need to toot the EndoTech horn a little bit, and I want to point something else out that I saw. All right, doing the rounds is my chance to talk about something in the cryptosphere, something that I've seen. And I've said, if you've watched me at all over the past couple of years covering this space, and that's not the right one. Anyway, hold on a second. Let me see. Where is my XTZ? Anyway, I wanted to talk about XTZ. Oh, there it is. It is in that one. Wow. Woo! XTZ storms into the top 10. Again, if you've watched over the past several years, for me, the how or the why or the nuts and bolts of any of this, it's beyond my pay grade. I can't tell you why a blockchain gets authenticated, how that works in the digisphere, in the matrix. All I can tell you is the price action when things start to happen price-wise. It shows up, right? You can't have a buy and a sell that's recorded on an exchange and have that price activity not show up. And the chart always reflects all the available information on them. That's why people buy and sell, because they have information. You know, my brother Brian, he was great with information. I have information. He still is great with information. Anyway, when you have information, you act in the market there, and then there's a paper trail. We call them the chicken scratches, the chicken pecks. Anyway, XTZ, I don't know why. Maybe it was the staking thing at Coinbase. There are some other underlying factors. All I know is a lot of people wanted it, a lot more than wanted to let it go. And to toot our horn, we talked about this last week. Firmly and up mo on the weekly, and that weekly up momentum collar was $1.83. They actually made a high of $1.84. But I'm getting ahead of myself, and I'll talk about XTZ more in the vitals part of this broadcast. The other thing I want to point out now that I'm seeing here, and as we go through the vitals, I don't know what's going on with Zcash. I know there was a bit of a pissing match in the Twitter sphere between Whale Panda and Ether's founder, Vitalik Buterin. Again, I could give two rats' asses about what the actual fundamental implications are of any of this stuff. On in the price, and as we go into the vitals here, you know, none of these coins, except for Tezos or XTZ, none of them in good position on the weekly chart. And Zcash actually, although we don't cover it on the top 8 here, finally closing out of lower momentum on the weekly, which the others haven't been able to do, and closing in upline on that cross chart. I don't know what's going on. I don't really care what's going on. All I know is that on strength here, it's doing better than the rest, all right? And it's for sure doing better than Bitcoin. So, you know, right now that weekly lower momentum level, 3080. So as long as we stay above 3080 this week in Zcash, it's looking better than the rest, right? And the upmo level against Bitcoin, 0.0045. Keep that level on that cross chart in mind. As long as Zcash can hold that level, you want to hold it rather than Bitcoin. That's all this trader knows for sure. All right, listen. Let's take the vitals and go through. Let's go through the board. All right, this is the December 16th week. It's the most wonderful time of the year, right? Christmas, a mere 9 days away. And right now, Bitcoin, in nobody's Christmas spirit, as far as I could tell, 71.28 right now last in Bitcoin. Fully in lower momentum on the daily. That lower momentum level, 74.29. Lower momentum on the first things first, daily. Lower momentum, as you can see there, published every day at endotech.io, 72.07 on the daily fractal. Lower momentum right now trading 71.28. So in on the daily, The weekly low mo level, 74.29. Room on the weekly down to 59.34 to that weekly lower momentum collar. And again, now we've got a couple of weeks in a row here now in lower momentum. I mean, you know, the trend is your friend. Fully, hold on. Fully, this is a fifth week in a row now in lower mo on the weekly. Anybody that wants to talk about the fundamental story, that's fine, you know. But it's kind of like if you were a mate last year. He hit for the cycle in a bunch of games. He was great with men on in scoring position. Yeah, but this year he sucks. Like, why are we going to pinch hit this guy? He hasn't been able to hit anything. That's kind of the way I look at these momentum and the standard deviation modeling. When I trade, it's like, what have you done for me lately, Bitcoin? You can't even hold your head above lower momentum in the weekly now for the fifth week in a row. That's dog shit performance, all right? That's all there is to, you know, please prove something to me. Prove me wrong. Let's get a green candle this week and close out of line. And maybe we could talk about a year-end pump. But, I'm not in any of these things right now, except for XTZ. All right, Ether right now trading 142.78. Sticking with the weekly only here. The dailies are up on the site, then you can see them. But on the weekly, 151.96 lower mo on the weekly in Ether. And again, I said 142.78 last. So fully $9 into lower mo. Room down to 118.89. And again, this weekly broadcast, I want to give you that little bit bigger picture of potentiality in the market, right? So 118.89 lower momentum collar on the weekly in Ether. XRP trading 21.77 last, 22.71 lower momentum on the weekly. 3 in a row, lower momentum. Room down to 16.98. Litecoin trading 43.52. Lower momentum on the weekly, 47.07. Room down to 34.20. I mean, and this is just rewind, play, rinse, repeat. Every one of these coins. EOS trading 256.95 last, 256.95. 268 lower momentum. Room down to 207. Lower momentum collar on the weekly. BNB trading 14.30 on the weekly, 15.12. Room down to $10.87. Lower momentum collar on the weekly. Now to a breath of fresh air. XTZ trading 165.51. Momentum on the weekly, 146. Room to 204. As I talked about last week, that monthly collar's at 206. So anything over $2, I think it gets very physical for XTZ to continue. We're going to need some sideways action, maybe some congestion, consolidation here. But again, I'm not an expert on the fundamentals of anything. All right. Well, there are a few things I'm an expert on fundamentally, but cryptocurrencies for sure, blockchain technology for sure. I'm not the expert, but I can tell you what the price action is telling me, and therefore hopefully telling you that if you are short XTZ, you better be careful. And if you are looking for places to get in it because you love the fundamental story, well, 146, that up momentum level on the weekly is a great place to jump in. All right, that's what I got this week. Thank you so much for watching. Please be disciplined, trade discipline, mind the mo for God's sakes. And I will see you next week for another segment of Blockchain Vitals. Thank you again.